Hey, how you doing, Freedom Family? This is Jamal Williams. I'm here with the Mother's Day meal. I'm going to tackle the appetizer today. So I'm going to do a very light option, tomato basil soup. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. And actually, it's all 100% vegan. So it's a plant-based, 100% plant-based option. Healthy option for you and your family, and a great thing for Mother's Day as we're all looking to make sure we have something healthy but yet filling during this meal. So in this meal, the tomato basil soup, very simple ingredients. One of the things you're going to work with, your main ingredient, of course, is tomatoes. So you're going to do the whole peeled tomato. That's the whole tomato in the can. Then you're going to do white navy beans. I'll show you how the trick to this here in a little bit. You'll get 1 can of those. You'll need a can of tomato paste. You'll need 1 chopped onions. I do the life hack because it makes it easier to get the onions already pre-cut. Makes it easier so you're not crying and all in your feelings when you're doing your cooking. So some of the seasonings you're going to be needing is black pepper, salt, a little rosemary. We do this onion salt that they have. Also, you'll have garlic that you'll be pulling out and using, and also for this recipe we'll be using a little hit of brown sugar. So first thing you want to do, you want to get your onions in there. So quick way to do it, thinking about 1 full onion. You want to use probably 1 cup of onions in your measuring cup. Just put that right on over the pot so the extras fall out. You're going to sweat those onions for about 2 to 3 minutes. Give them a nice little stir, move them around so you can be able to hear that sizzle. You'll hear that sizzle coming through. While you got your onions in there, go ahead and get some garlic. You just want about 1 spoonful of garlic. You don't want to do too much because you don't want your garlic to overpower your dish, okay? What that's going to do is going to cook down. And as you're cooking down, your onions are going to sweat. So just a little background about this meal and why I chose this meal and putting this together. Over this, in 2020, probably, I'll take that back. In 2019, one of the things I really wanted to focus on at the end of 2019, very end of 2019, I really wanted to focus on the health. So one of our things, our family goals this year was to be fit. So financially fit, physically fit, and mentally fit. So a part of the physical fitness, we wanted to, lose a certain amount of weight and get back working out. So as a church, at the beginning of the year, we did the Daniel fast, fasting into the new year. So during that time, I've been praying, I've been working on it, thinking about it. I started back working out a little bit. And the Lord just said, if you're really serious about your health, you'd give up meat. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not giving up meat. I am not giving up meat. But he said, if you're serious about it and you trust me, you'll give up meat. So I did some research. I started looking into it. I talked to Brandy about it, about giving up meat. And she said, let me be honest, she kind of freaked out in the beginning. But then she was like, if you're going to do it, I trust you and let's do this together. So we did it together. So, we started doing some different recipes together. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But one of the first recipes I actually did that everybody in the family loved, including the girls, was this vegan tomato basil soup. And it worked out really perfectly because it was a little cool that day. And we had it, and they loved it so much. It even worked out really well with the girls. We did the tomato basil soups with some grilled cheese sandwiches, and they really loved it. So after that settled in for a little while, what you want to do next is you want to go ahead and take the whole can of tomatoes, and you're just going to pour that right into the pot. All right, be careful a little bit. And what you want to do now is you're going to take a little bit, all right, and you're going to let those tomatoes cook down, all right? So it's probably going to be in there for a little bit, probably about 20 minutes. You're going to let that cook down a little bit, and once that cooks down, it's going to make it into the actual sauce, okay? It's going to make it into your base for your soup. So as you get that going, let that cook down for a little bit, let it simmer, get to the point where you want to have it at. Then the next piece after that, you're going to take that 2 ounces, you're going to get you're gonna get some vegetable tomato broth. You sell it in the store, super cheap, probably like no more than $2, $1.50, super cheap. Pour that directly in there, all right? And all that's gonna cook together for like 15 to 20 minutes. So we're gonna let that cook together. So the next thing you want to do is while you have it in the pot, go ahead and add your seasonings. So like I said, use a little onion salt, or if you don't have it, you can just use regular salt and onion powder in the cabinet. Just season that in there, give it some shakes. As you can see, I don't really measure that much. You just kind of go for taste and just make sure you don't over put in there. It's kind of like that old style of grandma cooking. Your grandma never had any measuring cups or anything like that. She kind of went by taste and feel, by seasoning and feel. So you just slide that in there. All right. And the next thing you want to do is you want to add some salt. All right. All right. That is already, when you look in your pot and when you know it's ready to go, is you'll see that the tomatoes have already broken down and that they're good to go and they're ready to go to the next stage. All right. So the next stage, this is the tricky stage, right? So what you want to do now, you're going to have to get your blender. Okay. So this is where it becomes a little tricky because this pot is hot. So one of the things I would recommend, if you want to, you can take that off the heat a little bit and let it set. All right. But you're going to take this pot. All right. Take the pot right here. You're going to pour it directly into the blender. All right. You can see all that. The tomatoes are in there. They're already broken down a little bit. Fill that all the way up. All right. And as you can see now, you've already got kind of the base for the soup. So we're going to fit that here. While we're getting this ready, one of the things we've decided to do is trying to grow our own herbs and vegetables. So we've actually started growing a garden here. So this is actually fresh basil from our house. So you want to take, if you don't have fresh basil, if you have fresh basil, you can buy it at the store, but you want to take probably about 3 or 4, let's take 4 of those. You want to get them on your cutting board. Before I do that though, because it has been outside, I'm going to wash it real quick. All right. Get that washed off. All right. Our timer is set. So you get that basil all together. Okay. Get it all set and situated. Just want to cut that. Now, one of the things I'm trying to do, you got to pick up skills. So I've been actually researching knife cutting classes online so I can learn how to cut stuff better. I got to get better with my cutting skills. You'll be surprised how proper cutting actually makes things taste a lot better. But the good thing about this, what we're going to do is going to blend this. So what we do now, cut that out pretty good. Take that, throw it right into the blender, okay? All right, you want to get all that basil, and you can smell it. It smells real good. You want to get all that basil right in there. So typically, if you don't have a blender, if you have like a food processor or a veggie processor or anything like that, you can use all of that, okay? So now that you have that in there, all right, you want to go over here, you want to use that puree on your blender and get that going. So you're going to hold that. So be careful. So be careful, all right? So be careful when you do that. So you want to put it on puree, do it low. Make sure we don't have it all flying everywhere, okay? All right, and be careful. All right, so the next piece, what you want to do As you can see, it's already kind of taking that color, but the next piece, so we don't use cream, we use the white navy beans in there. You just pour that right in the top. And you look how it fills up already. All right, you can see it's filling up pretty high. So I'm gonna turn this actually a little bit so I do not get the spread going all over the place like I have. So you can see this is live. This live cooking demonstration. All right, so we're gonna put that on low. And then look at, watch how it changed the colors right there. See how it's taking on the shape of the tomato basil soup right there. So let that blend up, let all the flavors come together. All right. So the herbs, everything's coming together. So you want to turn that off. All right. So you can actually smell all the herbs, everything coming through. So you want to take that off. You got to be careful though, because you don't want to spill it. All right. So actually you take it off, you put it right back in the pot. Pour all that goodness right back in the pot. So here's the key piece. Next thing you want to do though, because this is the key, you want to make sure you put it on low, but you want to take an opportunity though, and you also want to taste it. So take this time, taste it. Pretty good, pretty good. So a couple things you want to do, like if you feel like it doesn't have enough spice that you're looking for, take this opportunity. You can add more seasoning in there. All right. Add a little more rosemary. Now, one of the things too, if you like my wife, she likes to fill her food a little bit. You can add in this just a little bit, not too much, a little red pepper flake. And what that does, it'll give a little bit of that bite. One other thing you want to do is that tomatoes has a super acidity. And what you want to do to kind of balance out that acidity is while you're cooking it, you just want to take probably just 1 tablespoon of brown sugar and just drop that in the pot. And what that brown sugar is going to do is going to balance out some of that sweetness, okay? So take that, mix it all together. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put this on the pot for put this on and let it brew, excuse me, not brew, but let it simmer probably for another about 10 minutes or so. Once you have it simmering on there and let everything come together. So one of the things we also learned about this recipe, you can make the soup as thick as you want to. So 1 can of soup made it pretty thick, or 1 pan of beans made it pretty thick. But if you want to add another can, you can, another can or can and a half, you can thicken up and you can have a real thick, hearty soup, almost like a bisque if you wanted to. All right. All right, so now we're gonna finish up. We're gonna go ahead and plate this dish. So one of the things you wanna see now is that your soup is gonna have, you'll see all your ingredients. You should be smelling the basil, you should be smelling the rosemary, that garlic, you should be smelling all that now. So the next thing, we're gonna take the pot over, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. So a couple things, we're gonna go ahead and plate the dish. So I usually try to fill this up so I can get a good amount of soup in there for my family, because my girls like to eat. So a couple other things, like if you don't, if you want to go with another option as a side for this, is that you can do like a crostini. That's just like a little French bread toasted in the oven with a little olive oil, a little garlic on there, and it works out just fine. So I'm going to top this with 2 things. So I'm going to use, this is actually mozzarella cheese, and it's actually actually made from almond milk. So it's an almond milk mozzarella cheese. It tastes just the same as a regular cheese. And you just kind of drop that on there like that. And then next thing you'll finish up, take some more of that fresh garlic that we had. We'll drop it right on top of that mozzarella cheese as a little bit of a garnish, a little bit of to finish that off. So you'll have that right there. So now you have your 100% plant-based tomato basil soup. No cream, no anything like that. Straight vegetables, straight seasonings, quick and easy for you to make for your family. So if you're also a part of on this Mother's Day and this New Year health kick, and you really want something quick and easy and healthy for your family to start off your Mother's Day meal, this tomato basil soup is the best thing for you. So to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day, and can't wait to celebrate you and all the things that you've done and you're doing for your family. We love you. It's good to see you, Freedom Family.